In this sequence, we're going to show you in a small building, it's easiest to put the rafters together first and then put them all up at once. In other words, a whole rafter assembly put up at once. So we've built 3 or 4 rafters below. We're finishing up the last one. The first thing we do is put the collar tie on. We've already put the ridge together up here and put the ridge hardware on. Now we're going to put the collar tie in. Now the collar tie is preset. What you'll want to do is measure, in other words, to get this thing the right place, measure from this to this area on both sides, and that'll give you where this goes. So you're pretty good there, Al, to center it? So what this assembly is consisted of is 2 rafters and then the collar ties. So the collar tie in earlier videos, what's the purpose of that? Well, the purpose of that, again, remember we talked about this horizontal leg on an A. That's what we're putting in right now. That keeps these rafters from spreading. When we have narrow buildings like we're building here, these can become structural in certain parts of the country. So we're going to quickly put this together, and we use to start off with, the kit will give you 2 6-inch screws per collar tie, and then 2 10-inch screws, and that goes up above to hold the collar tie flush with the rafter. Now he'll put the 2 10-inch screws in. And again, that helps the rafter and the collar tie stay planed out or level plumb with each other. You could use this screw gun to put that in, right? Again, a cordless or an electric screwdriver work first. While George is doing that, Al's going to put the hardware on this side over here. Again, you got hardware at the ridge. That keeps it from separating. We got hardware that we'll show you when we, this is called the uplift hardware. So that goes down and it goes right even with this cut here. And then we got collar tie hardware. That hardware holds the, again, gives us a little bit of holding power of the collar tie and the rafter together. Again, remember, we don't want it to do this. So this gives us total strength there to make this more structural. And what you'll do is center that hardware. We don't pre-drill that for you or give you a location. Locate the 2 outside screws on either side of it. And once you have that located, you can put the other bolts in there. Okay, now why do I do this on the ground? Again, in smaller buildings, much easier. Than working from a ladder or on a scaffold or something. So now Al is going to put the uplift restraint hardware on. This hardware holds the rafter from pushing up. Again, I kind of talked about codes and so forth. We have to keep the roof from blowing off the building in very tornado type weather, 100-mile-per-hour winds, those kind of things. So that's what these do. We put those on now because I'll let these guys interrupt me so we keep going here. But this is uplift. We put these in now because they stabilize our building once we put it up. Now again, these flush out right with the point. So one more screw on this side. George is getting his side already set up. And we're ready to put this rafter into place, which is our next segment. If you have any further questions, contact us at the information listed.